Hello, welcome to the story of first a bilingual, then a trilingual, a quadrilingual, and now again a trilingual boy. This is the story of our son Leo, who is about 8 years old now. The story is divided in two parts. The first part covers the ages of 0 to 3, and the second part covers the ages of 3 to 8. His story is inspired by many other multilinguals and by the help of my research in bilingualism. I hope it helps you connect with your moments of decisions around languages, happiness, and well-being of the child. Just to give you a bit of context, we are living in Germany, Munich, and our home language is German, and his other languages are Turkish and English. These languages are satisfying for us the head, heart, and hands criteria. That is the logical, emotional, and practical criteria which I explain in my video of which languages to pick and commit to for bilingualism. Our bilingualism journey was intentional, with some critical decisions like who's speaking which language, picking our strategy. What kind of a school system do we prefer, when and how to start with reading. And we believed that a good level of bilingualism was possible. And we were committed to putting in the effort every day and have fun. The consistency, loving insistence, patience showed accumulated good results over time. We still try to provide him with the environment to grow all his languages. And I also need to mention that we always considered Leo's preferences focused on his well-being, made the language acquisition and learning natural. Of course, we had our struggles, some resistance from Leo along the way, which I will tell. Let's start with what we did before birth. My research on bilingualism had started long before his birth, and we picked our strategy, OPOL, one parent, one language. So we focused on speaking in monolingual form starting 3 to 4 months before birth. This was a preference to help him differentiate the languages by person and also give the opportunity, the minority language, Turkish, a chance. I know that it doesn't have to be only the monolingual form of languages so that the acquisition can take place. And many families are okay with mixing the languages. And yet again, we preferred the monolingual form of speaking a language. After birth, we started applying the OPOL strategy. We kept speaking German amongst ourselves, and when I was speaking directly to him, no matter who else was there and would not understand, I was speaking Turkish, otherwise I wouldn't get the exposure. I went back to work quite early when Leo was 5 months old and started working from home again. We had balanced caregivers in Turkish and German, like babysitters or day moms, as they nicely say in German, during the day. And at night we were with Leo. They were also following the OPOL strategy. By the way, Leo has not watched TV in the first 2 years of his life. He FaceTimed a lot with the family. So the language exposure was from the environment and mainly interactive in these years. What we also did between the ages of 0 to 2 was frequent visits to Turkey. Every 3 to 4 months, maybe a week. That's where he got a lot of Turkish exposure. In Leo's early months, my mother-in-law was worried. She's German. She said, what if my angel tells me something in Turkish and wants something from me and I don't understand him? So she registered herself to a Turkish course to learn a few Turkish words to still understand him and give him what he wants. She didn't really have such a problem because Leo picked up German and could show or tell everything he wants in German quite early. But it was very sweet of her to do that, and thanks for that, Ruchi. The general attitude was very positive, by the way. Leo called me Mama in German the first 3 years of his life, and not Anne in Turkish. I didn't mind at all, my son was calling me. And then we spent some time in summer in Turkey, and there he heard other kids call their moms anne. And he never called me mama again. I heard from an American lady living in Turkey that her daughter calls her anne and not mom, because it's just what they hear from the environment. When Leo was 2 years old, there was a time that he would need some socializing with the kids. We were visiting German play groups, but it wasn't enough. And Leo was ignoring the kids and only interacting with adults. It was time for the daycare. In Munich, there were no daycare spots available, apart from a French-German kindergarten at the time. And I worried that maybe it would be too early to introduce the third language. And this was a time when I discussed with tens of people, caregivers, parents who introduced the third language to a bilingual child. I was worried that he would confuse the languages. Although I knew that it was possible, we still needed to experience it ourselves. So I heard many different experiences, I read about them again, and what was suggested by then was that we would hold on to our languages. The child would acquire also French, the third language, at the daycare. So Leo started with the age of 2 to a French-German kindergarten, and there also the OPOL strategy was applied. The French caregivers were speaking in French to the children. Also, it is very important, the focus was the child again and not the language. It was about the child, and communication was key. When a child would not understand something in French, the German would come and explain what it is. Or the French caregivers even would say the German word. They would not pretend that they don't understand German. The children observe very well who can understand which language. So pretending that you don't understand a language may be considered as deceiving by the child. Please think about that. Rather, the caregivers were repeating phrases in French to invite him to the language and give him the expressions. Leo started picking up French as well, and it was actually the only time when he was 2.5, so that when I picked him from the kindergarten, he started code mixing or code switching. And he was speaking German and French to me, mixing them, at least the first few sentences. And please don't worry about the code mixing, by the way. It is completely normal. It is not confusion. I will also have a short video on that. What I did in these cases was, I was listening to him, providing him with the Turkish words and expressions, and getting or inviting him back to Turkish. I also remember thinking to myself, it's time to visit the family in Turkey again. Because whenever we visited Turkey, every 3 to 4 months, it would be a huge boost for his language skills. The interesting thing was that it was not only a boost for Turkish, but also for German. Even though he would only FaceTime with dad maybe 10 minutes a day, he did not hear any German at all. Every time we came back, he was going to another level in German, like creating 3-word words or joining sentences. His dad was asking, what happened to his German in Turkey? Was he in a German immersion course? Also, Leo started naming and recognizing languages at the age of 2.5, maybe around 3. Earlier, he didn't know the name of the languages. He was just understanding and speaking them, but he didn't have the buckets. One time, when we were flying to Dubai, he heard the announcement in Arabic on the plane, and he immediately looked up where the sound was coming from and said, "What is it? What is it? I don't understand. Which is it? Which language is it?" Then I said, "It's Arabic. It's beautiful. Is it?" "Yeah, it's beautiful," he said. And of course, I encouraged him to say shukran instead of thank you when people were giving him things. He really enjoyed people's reactions when he said thank you in Arabic. That kind of positive feedback motivated him even more on the languages. I hope the first part of Leo's story resonated with you and addressed some concepts you were thinking about. Please stay tuned for the second part. Please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you want faster results with a system, just visit our website happybilinguals.com. Thank you and have a great day.